Traditional British food. 16 classic British dishes. If you've never had the pleasure of sampling the greatest cuisine on the planet, you might be wondering. What is traditional British food? Here's your answer. Full breakfast. Pie and mash. Shepherd's pie. Roast dinner. Haggis. Welsh cawl. Irish stew. And believe it or not, chicken tikka masala are all examples of traditional British cuisine. Cornish pasties and pork pies, as well as sweets like apple crumble and Eton mess, are all part of traditional British cuisine. Though these classic British foods are still appreciated across the UK, we believe it's necessary to point out that they don't always reflect what every Brit eats on a regular basis. Traditional British cuisine is now mostly about nostalgia and respecting the UK's culinary past. Here's a rundown of some of the most typical British cuisine to try. The full breakfast. There's no better place to begin than with the most crucial meal of the day. The full English breakfast is one of the most well-known British foods. This beauty is also called as the fry-up or full Monty, and it's served all day at many UK eateries. Fish and chips. Fish and chips is one of the most popular classic British culinary meals, and it's not hard to see why. The battered and deep-fried fish is served with chips in this meal, with a wedge of lemon and ketchup or tartar sauce, as well as enough salt and malt vinegar. Fish and chips are unquestionably the greatest. Mushy peas, pickled gherkins, pickled onions, and curry sauce are all optional extras. Fish and chips are offered every day in most UK restaurants and appears on traditional British pub menus, or visit a fish and chip shop in a coastal town for the greatest experience. Roast dinner. With Yorkshire pudding. The roast dinner is another famous British cuisine, and if you're visiting the UK, we recommend you don't leave until you've had one. The classic roast often includes roasted beef, roasted potatoes, stuffing, a variety of vegetables, and gravy. And obviously, Yorkshire pudding. Although the famed Yorkshire pudding is the traditional complement for roast beef, most Brits will include them in their roast regardless of meat choice. You love a roast whether you order beef, chicken, hog, lamb, or any other meat choice. This traditional British dish is also known as a Sunday roast or a Sunday lunch, but don't worry if you're not visiting the UK on a Sunday. The Brits enjoy a roast dinner any day of the week. While the term roast dinner is arguably the most used, having a roast at lunch rather than dinner is quite acceptable in Britain. In fact, an early afternoon roast is the most popular. Pie and mash. Another real British favorite is pie and mash, which is a pastry-encased meat, vegetable and gravy filling, eaten with creamy mashed potatoes and more gravy. The most traditional pie filling in Britain is steak and kidney, although additional options include steak and ale, steak and mushroom, or minced beef and onion. Chicken and mushroom, as well as chicken and ham, are also popular. Most UK gastropubs sell pie and mash, as well as pie and mash shops, which serve this enormous meal with liquor, a parsley sauce, and jellied eels. The East End of London is the place to go for the tastiest, most traditional pie and mash. Sausages and mash. Sausage and mash will undoubtedly remain one of the most popular dinners in the UK for the simple reason that it is the ultimate comfort food. One of the most legendary British dining traditions is creamy mashed potatoes topped with thick pork bangers and gravy. Bangers and mash are generally served with peas, carrots, or cabbage, as well as fried onions. Toad in the hole. Toad in the hole is another comfortable British meal prepared with sausages. Putting aside the strange British cuisine titles, toad in the hole is one of the UK's most underappreciated classic foods. The name toad in the hole is fantastic. The sausages are fried in the batter of Yorkshire puddings. It's served with veggies and gravy. Shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie is another one of the most popular British foods. This is a lamb-based dish, as you may have gathered from the name. It is made with minced lamb simmered in sauce with onions, celery, carrots, and peas. Toppings of mashed potatoes plus grated cheddar cheese are placed to the meat foundation before being grilled to a golden crisp. Ploughman's lunch. Back in the day, British farmers invented the Ploughman's lunch. It's a cold meal with a long history, originally consisting solely of bread, cooked meats, cheese, and an apple. More components have been added to the simple dish that was the original Ploughman's throughout the years, and it's now one of the tastiest lunches available. A dish of thick-cut honey roasted ham, a nice slab of cheddar cheese, crusty bloomer bread, pork pies, Scotch eggs, pickles, and a slice of juicy apple is incredibly delicious. It's widely agreed that it's best served with a cool lager or ale. Welsh cawl. Welsh cawl is a super broth that originates in Wales. Except it's a lot more than simply a Welsh super broth. Welsh cawl is made by cooking pieces of lamb or beef in a broth with vegetables including leek, potato, swede, and carrot. The Welsh cawl is commonly regarded as Wales' national meal, as well as one of the UK's national dishes. So, if you're planning a trip to Wales specifically, it's time to get enthusiastic about soup. Haggis. Another of the UK's national delicacies is haggis, which is quite delicious. Haggis is a savoury Scottish delicacy prepared from the heart, liver, and lungs of sheep. If the sound of that turns you off, you probably have no idea what haggis tastes like. Sheep's heart, liver, and lungs are minced and combined with stock, onion, oatmeal, suet, spices, and salt before being cooked in the stomach lining of the sheep. Haggis is often regarded as one of the most important British dishes. If you're visiting the UK, namely Scotland, you'll most likely want to sample haggis. Irish stew. Another must-try is the Irish stew, which is another national cuisine of the UK. An Irish stew is one of the most comfortable traditional British dinners, whether you're visiting Ireland or not. Traditionally, Irish stew is cooked using sheep. Although in the present period of British cuisine, lamb is more common. It's scrum-diddly in any case. Afternoon tea. You certainly don't know what you're missing if you've never heard of afternoon tea. It is a feast rather than a single dish. And it is perhaps the most popular British culinary tradition. Afternoon tea begins with a variety of elegant, sophisticated sandwiches. Yes, the Brits are really sophisticated. Then there's the magnificent British scone with clotted cream and jam, which is an epic British delicacy. That's not all, though. Afternoon tea is then followed by even more delicious delicacies in the form of a variety of pastries and cakes. Naturally, endless cups of tea are served to wash it all down. Apple crumble. Apple crumble is one of several delicious classic British desserts prepared with stewed apples and a crisp crumbly topping of butter, flour, and sugar, flavored with cinnamon. The classic British crumble is eaten with custard, although cream or ice cream are other popular options. In Britain, there are various types of crumble sweets, with apple being the most traditional and popular. You might use a mix of fruits instead of apples, such as peaches, rhubarb, or plums. The apple and blackberry crumble is excellent. Eaten mess. The eaten mess is a traditional British dish made with strawberries, broken meringue, and whipped double cream. Despite the name, this is a British treat that will make you salivate. The taste is anything from messy. The Eton is the name of the English town where this pudding is made. The mess alludes to the dish's traditional preparation, which consists of just mixing the different components together with no real structure. Sticky toffee pudding. Another fantastic British treat is sticky toffee pudding. It's a sponge cake, but that barely scratches the surface. It's juicy and dripping with toffee sauce, which has a sticky quality to it. Aside from that, sticky toffee pudding is one of those items that doesn't require much explanation and just demands to be tasted. Trifle. Trifle is a layered dessert, a dish that's particularly popular at Christmas. Layers of fruit and sponge fingers are put in a fruit jelly in a typical trifle. Layers of custard and whipped cream sit above it all, plus more layers of fruit and sponge fingers. The top cream layer is generally decorated with chocolate shavings and extra fruit.